YouTube was good. It's your boy, the real J Scott, back again with a video. We in the month of December, and this time I wanted to come on here and do a video of everything that I've picked up throughout the year of 2024. So sit back, relax. Hopefully you enjoy this video. I got a lot of things that I picked up throughout this year, so see if you like some things and check me out on my channel, The Real J Scott 43. I'll be back later on with a video on my thoughts on NXT Deadline from last night. So let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to show off was my WCW War Games video that I picked up on Blu-ray. I got this from eBay, and this is something that I needed to have. I've been trying to expand my wrestling collection, and I got a few things for that. So a few videos, and I'm looking to try to find some more posters and other things to add for my wrestling collection. So if you guys have any ideas, holla at your boy. So next, I got the TNA Best of the X Division. I was a big fan of TNA back in the day. Not so much now, but I do want to try to get back into it just to see what's been going on with TNA. I do see things from time to time, so I definitely want to get back into it and start back watching again. Now, for those of you from back in the day, you know, if you was a wrestling fan, every Monday night you was glued to the TV for the Monday Night Wars between WWE and WCW. This is a must-have for any wrestling fan. And speaking of WCW Nitro, got the very best of WCW Nitro Volume 1. And again, I was a WCW fan, WWE fan back in the day. I'm a fan of wrestling in general. Again, another must-have for your collection. I got a lot of these things on DVD. To me, being a fan, it doesn't matter if I got it on Blu-ray or DVD, long as I got it in my collection. So next, I have the very best of WCW Volume 2. I still got one more that I need to pick up, so hopefully I can get a hold of that real soon. Next up, I got WWE Ladder Match. I haven't checked this one out, and I know once I do get a chance to sit down and watch this, I'm in for one hell of a ride. So last DVD collection I got is the best of WCW Clash of the Champions. Now, I grew up watching WCW with my grandfather. Every Saturday we would sit there and watch WCW Saturday Night, or whenever they have Clash of the Champions on TBS. Yes, the Superstation. Back in the day, we would just sit there and just watch wrestling from the time it got started to the ended. And I always enjoyed that. I miss my grandfather, but because of him, along with my mom, I'm a fan of wrestling. I also got Funko Pop. I collect Funko Pops. I'm not like I used to be with Funkos, but I still do collect them. I got Braun Strowman here. Got this from Amazon about a month or so ago. It was only a few bucks, so I decided to add it to the collection. Got the Finn Balor Amazon exclusive Funko Pop. It was about $5 on Amazon, so I decided to add it to the collection. Why not? Now, I want to get started with my video game collection that I've added throughout this year, and let's get started. So first up, I got the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. Now, everybody know, as a fan of Marvel, we've been waiting on Capcom to do this for the longest time. They finally delivered, and this this is definitely a must-have if you're a fan of fighting games, along with comics and everything else. I can't wait for next year when they get ready to drop the second Capcom collection with the SNK versus games. Man, that is a day one purchase. So, Call of Duty. Now, for years, I was a Call of Duty fan. Then, for a time, I stopped playing Call of Duty because I didn't enjoy them as much as I used to. But I decided to give Black Ops 6 a chance, and I've been playing the hell out of this game with my buddies, especially on the Nazi zombie mode. I've been streaming it. I haven't streamed much this week, but I will be back on there this week streaming with my buddies. You can look for me on Twitch, The Real J Scott 43, and watch me and my buddies take out some zombies. Also, I had to pick this up. The 2K wrestling games have been okay, but because I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, I had to get this. My boy, the American Nightmare, who's also from Atlanta, like me. So I'm hoping 2K25 is at least decent enough and worth the $70 next year. We'll see. Top Spin Tennis 2K25. Now this one is okay. The original Top Spin back on the original Xbox was great. I would spend hours playing this game. I've been playing this one quite a bit. Graphically, it could be better, but as we all know, as gamers, graphics aren't everything. But this game is pretty fun. Give it a check. This one was another one I had to pick up. If you're a Left 4 Dead fan, Back 4 Blood is a game that you must have in your collection. Resident Evil 4, the remake. Now, I never really played this one back on the GameCube or the PS2, even though I do have it for the PS2. But after watching my buddy play this through share screen, I decided to pick this one up. And for $20, why not? Dragon Ball Fighters. It's another game that I got. Now, I know Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is out, but this one was not too bad, and everybody pretty much played this. It's okay from what I played, but wasn't nothing really to write home about. Now, as a baseball fan, MLB Inside Pitch, I had to pick this up because I've been wanting to play this for like the longest time. I didn't have an original Xbox at the time, but baseball is my love. I've been a fan of baseball for years, ever since I was a kid. It was something that I wanted to do throughout my life. I never got a chance to get into Little League or anything like that, but my love for baseball is still there. NBA Inside Drive. Now, Microsoft had a lot of sports games as well as exclusives back in the day that I wanted to check out, and this was one. So hopefully I get a chance to play this sometime next year, or maybe this year before the year ends. Who knows? WWE WrestleMania 21 Become a Legend. Now, I heard this game wasn't that great. The first Raw was Monday Night Raw 2 was okay. I heard that was the best out of all of the original Xbox WWE games. So I just figured I'd just have it for collection purposes. So next up, my anime collection. I didn't buy as many anime as I wanted to this year, but I did pick up a pretty nice size amount. Goku Midnight Eye. As an anime fan, this is something that you gotta have, especially with me, since I was brought up on the 90s and early 2000s anime. There's nothing like that. I love anime in general, but that original style back then, man, boy, do I miss it. Next up, we got Freezing. I did watch this first season. I need to get the second season so I can finish this collection. It's pretty good. A lot of fan service in this, but hey, still pretty good watch. Next up, Fist of the North Star, or as I like to call Kenshiro, the original One Punch Man. You're already dead. If you've watched this, you know you got to have this in your collection, especially on Blu-ray. Kenshiro, him and the fight with his brother Rao. Excellent fight. Now, this next set that I got the first 3 seasons. Season 4 is kind of pricey, but hopefully at some point I can add it to my collection. So I have, I'm not sure which order they're in, but the first 3 seasons of High School Double D's. If you know, you know. I heard they're supposed to be coming out with a 5th season for this I don't know why the last season was but we'll see. Next up, we got Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, or as I like to call it by its Japanese name, Danmachi. This story is surprisingly really, really good. Belle, the main character, along with Goddess Hestia, is always fun. They're hilarious, but once this series gets going, it got me hooked. Mysterious Girlfriend X. Woo! This is an interesting anime. I'm not going to say too much about it. This was one that you would have to watch for yourself. It is a guilty pleasure. So check it out if you have some time. Now, with this particular set right here, this is near and dear to my heart. I grew up watching Ranma. It was one of my first anime series that I got into back in the day. I have watched the entire series plus both of these movies as well as the OVA. I started watching the reboot, of the series on Netflix. Uh, it's okay. It doesn't really have that Ranma feel to it, but there are some elements that's kind of enjoyable. So check it out. Domestic Girlfriend. Woo. What can I say about this other than it's a messy situation? The guy that's in this anime, he is in love with one girl, but he has end up having a relationship, or not so much a relationship, but something going on with another girl who turns out to be the sister of the girl he's in love with, and it's a mess. Check it out. It's pretty funny. Now this right here, Princess Mononoke. Sorry about the glare, but Princess Mononoke, I had to have the steel book. I picked this up back in May when I went to MomoCon. I had to have this. This was one that my buddy had told me about years ago to check out, and when I watched it, I was hooked. So I had to have this in my collection. Spirited Away. I have not watched this. As you can see, it's not even open yet. I'm trying to keep that freshness and newness with this anime. But one of these days, I will sit down to watch Spirited Away. I heard it's amazing, just like Princess Mononoke. So I'm looking forward to watching this. Next up, we have Berserk, the 97 series. Man, when I tell you this is peak anime, great story, violence, a lot going on in this series. Now, everybody was clamoring to get this when it came out on Blu-ray with good reason. It was selling out quick, but I also heard that it's getting ready to drop for a steelbook. So yes, I will be double dipping to get the steelbook for this because it's a must-have. Next up, we have Angel Cop. Angel Cop. Oh man, I love this anime. This is another one that I needed to have. I didn't want the standard Blu-ray. I had to have the steelbook for it. So, yeah, another one that I picked up at MomoCon earlier this year. So next, Afro Samurai, the complete series. Steelbook. Now, one of the things I didn't like about this steelbook is like when they advertised it, you see two steelbooks for Afro Samurai and Afro Samurai Resurrection, and as you can see, it's only one steelbook, which I don't understand. You check out the sites that it's on, you'll see side by side two steelbooks for it, but you only get one. It's kind of disappointing, but again, I had to have it. So next up, I got all 9 seasons of Dragon Ball Z. Now, I picked these up from Walmart before they decided to get rid of all of their physical media. So I had to have this as a Dragon Ball fan, Dragon Ball Z particularly, and along with the original Dragon Ball. So I had to have this in my collection. Sorry if it's out of order, but it's just the way I picked it up. Next up, we have some anime Funko Pops that I also picked up this year. I have Beast Gohan. Gohan finally got a new form, so I'm hearing good things about him. I've been catching up with some of the manga as far as Gohan, when he was fighting Goku and his Ultra Instinct form, and I heard it was a pretty good fight. Next, we have Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. The Goku Black saga in Dragon Ball Super was one of my favorites out of Super, more so than a Tournament of Power, because for me that was more story driven instead of some random power up which Goku again received in the Tournament of Power when he achieved Ultra Instinct. But I still like the Tournament of Power. It's just not my favorite arc. Next, we have Super Saiyan Trunks. Trunks, another fan favorite. Everybody loved Trunks, especially when he came to Earth from the future to take out Frieza and his dad. Next up, we have Super Saiyan Goku. Everybody know and loves Goku, the main protagonist in the Dragon Ball Z universe. So we have a Bill Riser Contra Funko Pop. Everybody who knows Contra that grew up around the time that I did back in the 80s, Contra was that game. It will piss you off. One of the originators of rage quitting. Contra, definitely still worth playing even after all these years. And lastly is my comic book collection that I picked up. I didn't pick up as many comics as I would have liked, but I did manage to grab a few. It's still quite a few comics that I need to pick up, especially with the DC comics and the absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman series. I need those. As far as my understanding from a buddy of mine, the Ultimate Spider-Man series that they've put out recently is also worth checking out. So I got to get to a comic book store and pick up some stuff. But for now, I added a Spider-Man, the Mysterio Manifesto to my collection. I'm a Spider-Man fan. He's my favorite Marvel character. Another Spider-Man comic book, The Amazing Spider-Man and the Hobgoblin. Last in this pickups collection video, Batman Failsafe. My buddy was telling me about this, and as we was talking about it, he was like, Jones, you need to go ahead and pick it up. So while we was talking, went ahead and jumped on Amazon, picked it up, and got it shortly after that. So that concludes this video for today. If you're new to my channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I know it's the end of the year, and like I had mentioned before, I'm going to try to put more videos out. I got a lot of other things coming, more streaming. So check out my channel, The Real J Scott 43. I'm also on TikTok under the same name, and I'm also on Instagram under the same name. So stay tuned for that video on my thoughts on WWE NXT Deadline. Should be getting ready to drop that within the next few minutes or so. Thanks.